Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. Before I get into today's episode, I want to share something that I'm just so excited, and I've been sharing this quite a bit lately. We've got a membership program, private membership program. It's a private membership community called the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle, and it's such a phenomenal group of men. Right now, we're right in the beginning of a challenge, a team challenge we're doing, and it's kind of cool to talk about this because men thrive in tribes. I've talked about this actually in a recent podcast episode with Larry Hagner. We as dads don't have typically a group of friends that we hang around with. We get busy with life, kids. Those things kind of fade away, and I know certainly it has for me. And so being part of a group of like-minded guys is, in my opinion, in my experience, one of the things that can make the difference between struggling, with your fitness and succeeding with your fitness. And I'm watching this every day in our inner circle. So we're doing this team challenge. We're in groups of 4 men, small accountability teams, and just watching the interaction between the dads. It's pretty inspiring to see, because a lot of times, and I've done a lot of one-on-one coaching in my life, and you're just not there. It's me and it's my client. But when you have a group of 40 or 50 men working together, something just awesome happens. And so a lot of what we do in the inner circle is team-based, accountability-based. And the reason I ended up creating the community in the beginning a number of months ago is because it's so important for us as dads to have that. And so I wanted to create that space for men to be able to come into it, become part of something bigger, and then have someone there that's going to call them on their bullshit. And, a lot of these guys have gone through the same things that you're going through or have been through. And it's hard to put it in words because it means a lot to me to be able to be in charge of this, to lead these men. But it's so much bigger than me. And it's all about the community. It's all about making dads' lives better. And that's why I'm so proud of the guys in the group, and I'm so proud of what we've built, and it's just continuing to grow. So, if something that sounds like it might be something that would fit into your life, definitely check it out. I'll link to it in the show. It's the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle. It's at fdnic.com. And today's show is, and I've talked about this all the time. I believe the fitness industry is just fucking us because everybody is trying to make money, and it's a very easy market to make money in because weight loss, obviously we know is a huge emotional issue for millions and millions of people. And so every slick marketer, has their hand in the cookie jar because it's easy to prey on those types of people. And, it's just something that drives me insane about this business, and, I'm not going to change it. But, I honestly believe that getting fit and getting healthy, it's not complicated at all. The industry wants us to believe that it is complicated so they can sell us shit, right? You have to have this. This is the best supplement. This is going to shortcut your time, right? But it really comes down to the basics. And, the basics aren't marketable. The basics aren't sexy. And it doesn't sell. So we don't hear a lot about that, because there's just very little money in it. I make it a point to really talk about the basics over and over because people are spending, this is multi-billion-dollar industry, and people are spending money on supplements and fitness gadgets and programs and, coaches that don't know what they're doing. And, it really bothers me because I love this business. I love helping people, and I hate seeing people being taken advantage of. I hate people being sold something that they don't need. And so Today I'm going to talk about 6 things that, in my experience, in my opinion, are going to mean the difference between you seeing fitness success and you struggling. And, let's face it, most people struggle from, month to month, from year to year. It's no surprise that, the 60 some odd percent of the United States is overweight, 30 or 40% is obese, whatever it is. It's just fucking ridiculous. And so people just aren't following just one good common sense, use your fucking head, and make good decisions. Like it's so easy in this country for us to make bad decisions, unhealthy decisions. It's so much easier than making better decisions because everything's just laid out for us right there, and all of our pleasure points are hit because marketers and these companies know how to push our buttons and get us to want to sit our asses on the couch for 6 hours at a time, or get sucked into YouTube video series, or can't stop eating caramel popcorn, whatever it is. There's all these things that make it easy for us to be lazy and to be fat and to eat crappy foods. And it's winning, right? We're losing. There's not enough time in the day for me to help and make even a small dent in the amount of people that are being affected by this. It's mind blowing. So I want you to listen to this show and just, this is nothing earth shattering. I'm not sharing with you any hacks or tips or anything you haven't heard before, but I want you to just listen, because if you just follow these 6 principles, I promise you're going to do great. You are. I mean, you can lose weight, you can get fit, you can get bigger and stronger, whatever your fitness goal is, but you're going to be healthier, right? And let's call it what it is, right? Well, as dads, what do we want? Right? We want to be around for our kids, right? I mean, there's nothing more important to me than living a long, healthy life where I can spend as much time with my girls as possible. And the thought of me dying, because I'm 48, the thought of me dying in my 50s or 60s terrifies me. I mean, it scares me for my kids to be in a world without their father, but, what am I going to feel like if I'm sitting on my deathbed and I'm, 60 years old, but because I've neglected myself, I don't have much time to live, and my quality of life sucks, and I'm not mobile, and I can't get out and do things with them, and they've got their own lives. I'm sure they'll be married with kids, and that is fucking terrifying to me. And so that controls a lot of what I do every day, the decisions I make, because it's not that far off. And for you, if you're listening to the show, you're in your 30s or 40s, it's not that far off. And you have to seriously think about these things. So, I want to talk about the things that I've incorporated into my life, things that I teach, things that I believe, things that I think will honestly help you if you can forget about all the other bullshit. Because there's not a supplement, there's no diet book, there's no fitness product, there's no program, there's nothing that's going to replace these six things. So if your goal is to get fit and get healthy, and I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to be fit and healthy, and you're willing to put in the work, just pay attention to what I'm going to say here. So first and foremost, stop making excuses. That's the biggest thing, right? We are so full of shit, most of us, and I'm not any different than any of you guys. I've used excuses many times. I still use excuses not to do things all the time, and it's just how we're wired, right? I mean, I hear I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough energy. I mean, there's always something, and I've been running the Fit Dad Nation for more than 5 years. I've run countless surveys and questionnaires and polls, getting this kind of information. And it's excuse after excuse after excuse, right? And that's what it boils down to, is you have to be stronger than those excuses. It's obviously a cliche. It's a quote, be stronger than your strongest excuse. It's actually, I have that poster on my wall. But just take a second to think about it. Well, I just don't have time to work out. I'm so busy. Yeah, so what? We're all busy. Seriously, your excuses are keeping you fat. They're keeping you lazy. Okay, I just did a whole show on laziness last week, and you can listen to that. But we all have a ton of shit to do in our lives. There's never enough time, right? I get it. But if you want to change, and if you're serious about it, you have to put the excuses aside, whatever they are. I'm not saying one's any worse than the other. They're all excuses at the end of the day. But if you want it, right? And I know everybody listening to the show does want it on some level. Some of you aren't willing to do the work that it takes. I mean, I can't help you if that's you. But if you are ready to do the work, just recognize the things that are holding you back, your excuses are holding you back, period. You have to be stronger than that. Just think about that, okay? Number 2, make yourself a priority. I believe this very strongly. I think that most men, most dads put themselves at the bottom of their list instead of the top. I did it for a long, long time. A lot of men live like martyrs. They sacrifice their own personal happiness, all their time, all their energy to their family, their wife, their job, whatever it is. And I understand it because I did it. But what I've learned over the years, especially after my divorce, was that if you don't make yourself a priority, you're going to struggle. And it's not selfish. Believe me, I promise you, it is not selfish to make yourself number 1. The reason being is you're going to become a better husband, a better father, a better employee, better lover, a better everything when you're taking care of yourself. Because when you feel good about yourself, when you're physically strong, you become mentally strong, all of those things snowball together. Your confidence increases. All of those things make you better. And when you're better, you perform everything better, right? You just become a more energetic father, a more engaged father, a more attentive husband, a more loving husband, right? When you're physically strong and you're feeling good about yourself, and a lot of you haven't felt good about yourself in a long time, dude, shit gets so much different. Your life will get so much better. And if you're in a place where you can't see that happening, you have to trust the process, because I was there. I've been through multiple lows in my life. When I was married, I was at a low for years, like a decade. And then after my divorce, I was back in a really crappy place, mentally, emotionally. And looking back at the decisions I made, how I felt about myself, how other people were viewing me, the conversations I've had with people since, it's not even close. I mean, I'm not even the same person. People have said, "Oh my God, you're not even like the same guy." And that's what's out there for you when you make yourself a priority. And if you don't do this, your life will suffer. Your family life will suffer. I've seen, and I know, men that are unhappy. They're miserable. Their relationship sucks. Their job is they're just grinding out a job one day after another just to collect a paycheck, and hopefully retirement comes before they drop fucking dead, right? I know a lot of people like that. And that's a miserable existence. And what do you think happens, right? Not only do you feel like shit all the time, your relationship, your marriage struggles because of it. You can't be a great husband when you're feeling like shit all the time. You can't be the best dad you can be because all you want to do is sit on the couch and fucking watch television because you're tired, right? That's not... Anyway, and again, I'm not judging anybody that's doing that, because millions of dads are doing that right now. I'm not judging you doing that. It's just a fact. But I can tell you from experience, because this is how I live now, is it's not even close. My relationship with my daughters has gone through the roof since I decided to turn my life around, commit to myself, make myself a priority, commit to my health, get healthy, stay fit, stay energetic, and It's not even close. So please, please, please consider this, making yourself a priority. It is not selfish. Number 3, eat like you give a shit about your body, right? We all know that your diet plays a massive role in maintaining a good body composition, your health, how you feel, all of those things, right? We know what you put into your body is critical. But, right, this isn't earth-shattering news I'm sharing with you, right? When you put a bunch of fucking garbage in your body, like fast foods, sodas, energy drinks, I could go on for days. Most of the foods a lot of the foods that we're eating today are terrible for us, right? Think about it before you put it into your body. That's really what it boils down to. You already know how to eat healthy. You know what's bad for you. You know what's good for you. I don't want to hear a conversation about, well, there are really no bad foods. I hear that a lot now on social media. Wow, Steve, there's really no good or bad foods. It's just food. And I don't believe that. I think that's bullshit because there's a lot of foods like fucking Coke. How is that not a bad food? Right? That'll eat through your fucking toilet bowl if you leave it in there long enough. It'll dissolve metal. Like, it's a horrible thing, right? We all know sugar is terrible for our bodies, right? Yes, we can eat pretty much anything we want in moderation and probably won't have any adverse side effects. But does that make it so it's not bad food? No, of course not. It's bad. It's bad for you, right? So let's just put that aside, right? And you don't have to stick to a diet, right? There's no best quote unquote diet for anybody, right? The keto isn't better than the Mediterranean diet, the paleo, right? The millions, the personality type diet, the Atkins, blah, 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 Weight Watchers, right? All those things can work for somebody given that it works in their lifestyle, right? It works with their schedule, their resources. It's healthy for them and it's sustainable for them. That's what they need, right? Those are the 3 things that are absolutely critical for any kind of approach to eating to be successful. You have to have those 3 things. So forget about the notion that there's a best diet out there for you. There probably isn't. You just have to find out what works, right? If you love carbs, include carbs in your diet. If you love vegetables, go heavy vegetables, right? You can't go into one of these extremes, starving yourself, eliminating all the foods that you've love and you've eaten for years, right? That only works in the short term and it's miserable. You're going to be sacrificing a lot of things and you're going to be struggling and having cravings and it doesn't work long term. Short term, yeah. I could eat nothing but, asparagus for a month if I really wanted to, but that's not sustainable, right? I'd lose a ton of weight, but as soon as I start eating normal food again, what happens? I'm going to gain all that weight back, right? And that month is going to be pure hell, so don't do it, but people do it all the time, right? So, just start using your brain, please. I'm not going to give you a breakdown of healthy foods, not healthy foods. Just stop eating at restaurants that have drive-thrus, cut out soda and sugary drinks, right? Try to eat a green vegetable with every meal, right? Focus on some lean proteins, eat some healthy fats. We know fish is good for us. Just, this is basic stuff. There's no need to just go off the deep end with anything. Just please avoid the things that are bad for you, the foods that they sell in convenience stores, anything, any fast food chains, fried foods, right? Just, stay away from those. Focus on foods that have one ingredient. You can't go wrong with that, right? And control your impulses, right? You don't need to gorge yourself. You know that calories are extremely important if you're trying to lose weight. That's the most important thing as far as actually losing weight. You have to be in a calorie deficit. But if you're eating like a fucking pig all the time, yeah, it's going to be tough for you to lose weight, even if you're eating healthy foods. So be smart about it, okay? Number 4, life is hard. And it is. Life throws us curveballs all the time, right? It can be very difficult. We can be faced with hard decisions all the time, stress from work, from trying to maintain a relationship, Kids, obviously there's a lot of stress, and, if you're divorced or separated and you're dealing with custody issues, it's extremely stressful. But even a happily married man, life is still hard, right? You're not going to be handed anything. We have to take what we want. We're not owed anything. You have to either, one, handle it, or two, complain about it. So those are your choices, right? I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and it's just how you deal with it. Life is not easy. And I don't think it's meant to be easy, because an easy life, it sucks. It's boring, right? You don't want everything just given to you. You have to work for things. But just recognize that your commitment to getting fit isn't going to be easy. Like, all the stars aren't going to align, and you're not going to have this perfect plan that's just going to fit perfectly into your lifestyle, and you just have to plug and play, and you're going to get fit and lean and muscular and all these things. No. You're going to have to overcome a ton of shit. You're going to struggle. You're going to have to figure out schedules. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to fuck up your diet 100 million times. Shit just happens. You have to get over it. Move on. Number 5, put in work every day. And that means exercise. Yes, of course, you have to exercise if you want to get lean and fit and muscular and, change your body. And, there isn't a man listening to the show that doesn't want to be lean and muscular, right? I'm not saying you want to be a physique athlete, you don't want to be a bodybuilder, whatever it is, but every man listening to this wants to look in the mirror and say, God damn, look at those muscles, man. I look good, right? You don't have to be a big meathead or anything like that, but you want to look at the mirror and say, you know what? Look at those, man. I look pretty good. Okay? We all want that. And you're never going to get that unless you get your ass off the couch and you get to work. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to even necessarily use weights. There's plenty of ways to get strong and fit without weights. There's I have a lot of stuff on my website. There's all kinds of stuff happening, but, body weight stuff, band stuff, kettlebell stuff. Obviously there's weights, there's dumbbells and barbells, all that stuff, but there's a million ways. I have a whole series on park workouts where there's no equipment needed, just pushing, pulling and pushing exercises. If you want it, you'll find a way to do it, but you have to do some work every day, right? Start with a walk. Depending where you are, of course. If you're just starting out or just getting back into it, go for a walk. Do walk more than you are walking now. But you have to put in work every day of your life in some capacity. Okay, doesn't mean you're in the gym every day. It just means you have to do more than you're doing now and do it every day and continue to progress from there. All right? Push yourself. You don't have to be trying to keep up with anybody that you see on P90X. Just push yourself outside of your comfort zone every day, and that comfort zone will grow over time, and that's where your growth will come from. Okay? Just move as much as you can. Okay, we're a nation of just sitters, and it's literally killing us. I'm sure you've heard sitting is the new smoking, right? It's killing us, and it's true. Think about our posture, the weak muscles that we have, the tight muscles that we have, hunched over, and I spent 10 years working at 11 years working at a desk. And so I suffered from a lot of that as well. So just move more, stretch, get outside. When you're weak and your muscles are weak and they're tight, right? You just feel lousy, right? But when you're moving a lot, your joints are strong, your muscles are strong, right? You feel good. It's a big difference. And life sucks when you feel like shit all the time. It really does. And here's the thing. Any day you can choose to start from scratch, right? Can be today, can be tomorrow, right? It doesn't matter what you've done for the last year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't care if you're a fat ass that's been sitting on the couch, playing World of Warcraft for the last 10 years, if you're committed to getting fitter and healthier, that means nothing. You start today, right? I don't just get out for a walk. Take 1,000 steps, take 500 steps. Whatever it is, just get moving. And lastly, I want you to recognize that your time on this earth is monumentally short. And a lot of us don't think about it. It's something that I personally do think about a lot because, like I said, it really honestly terrifies me to think that one day in the not too distant future, I'm 48, that I won't be here. So I want to have the best quality of life I can. I want to be around the people that I love. I want to be with my kids as much as humanly possible. I want to have good experiences. I want them to have experiences that they remember and that they tell their kids. I remember, when I was 8 years old, we used to take these bike rides, and those are the stories that I want my kids to tell their kids. And I want to give them those experiences. And I can't do that if I'm not healthy, if I feel like shit all the time, if I'm injured, if I'm sick, if I'm weak, right? And mostly, what happens is dads that work full-time jobs with commutes, and they don't have a lot of time with their kids. I see it all the time. Guys with long commutes, they get home, 7 o'clock, 6:37, they have dinner, they spend a little time with the kids, and then they want to unwind, watch a little television, go to bed, repeat, right? It's 40 years of that shit, right? How much quality time you're having with your kids? Very little. All right. So, for me, I put an emphasis on spending as much time as I can with my kids. Quality time. We watch very little television. We do a lot of outdoor things together. And that's what's important to me in my life. For you, I don't know what's important in your life, but whatever it is, just recognize, if you're in your 30s or 40s, your life is somewhere around the halfway point, right? Somewhere in there, but with all these diseases and cancer and heart disease, the things that are killing so many men, who knows what your life expectancy is going to be like, right? You can certainly do your best to prolong it as much as possible by actually taking care of yourself and following the things that I'm talking about here today. But you never know, right? People check out all the time, and it is terrifying. Just one day you're going along and you're fine. Next thing you know, oh, they found something. It's cancer. Okay. Car accidents, right? Those things happen every day. You honestly never know. So just, seriously, try to live your life the best you can every day. Don't wait 10 years, 15 years. Don't wait for retirement. Don't wait till you have more time. You're never going to have more time. You have to really make it. And so, I want for you what you want. I want you to live every day like it's amazing, right? Not grinding out, just going through the motions of a day where you're just on autopilot and you're living Groundhog Day. It's just no way to live. And the reason this is so important to me is because, when I was married, I was married for 8.5 years, but my quality of life wasn't great. It was not a happy marriage. It wasn't a healthy marriage. I was working in a career that I hated, but I felt trapped in because my now ex-wife, she stayed home with the kids, and so it was on me to provide financially. And it was fine at the time, but looking back, I realized I sacrificed almost a decade of my life being just absolutely miserable. It's time that I'll never get back. And so I want you to realize that too. And I just refuse to do that again and to spend my life doing shit that I just don't want to do at all, like just being miserable. And yes, there's sacrifices we have to make. Of course, you can't just walk around being in a constant state of euphoria, of course, but fuck that, man. Life is too short for this. Live it and recognize that one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be too late to do all those things that you said you wanted to do. It's going to be too late. You're not going to be able to do them anymore. And, I don't want to have those regrets, and I hope, that you don't either. So, guys, I appreciate you listening to this. My point of this whole show was just to let you know this is not complicated, guys. Just please stop trying to make this more than it is. If you want to get fit and healthy, it just really comes down to a handful of things that you follow, you're consistent with, and your life's going to get better. Your health is going to get better. I promise you. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.